All right, good morning, good afternoon, good night. I'm glad you're joining us. This is hopefully the last lesson that we have to do via video. We're again still looking at visual data, and we're going to probably introduce something that's new to you called a stem and leaf plot. It's a pretty neat way to display data. So we have a line graph, and it's basically a graph where we just connect certain points. So let's talk about, let's put our days on our x-axis, and let's talk about the temperature. So if we were talking about the day, let's just use the average day. So we'll put noon about right in the middle, and let's start at midnight over here. So at midnight, let's say the temperature is fairly cold, and then it increases around noon, maybe stays about the same temperature for a little bit, and then in the afternoon it starts to decrease. So if we had certain temperatures there, this would be a line graph where we have a bunch of lines that connect the certain temperatures together. A stem and leaf plot looks something like this. We have our stems over here and our leaves over here. Blank commonplace value is used for the stems. The greatest, EST, the greatest commonplace for the value is used for the stems, and the least commonplace of value is used for the leaves. So for example, if we wanted to represent the numbers, let's say we have 10, 10, 11, 13, 20, 26, and 24. What we can do is we can say our stem, if we look at these are our stems all start with 1. And then we have a 10, so we have a 0. So you'll see there, that's 10. And then we have another 10, so that's another 10. And then we have 11. So this over here is our 10 spot, the stem. And then this part over here is the 1 spot. And then we have to add the 3 to have 13. So if you're looking at this, we have 10, then we have 10, then we have 11, then we have 13. As for the other sets of data, we have 20, 26, and 24. I'm going to put those in numerical order. So 2 is our stem, and then we have 20, so 2, 0, and then we have 24, 2, 4, and then we have 26, so we have 2, 6. And it's just another way to show our data and analyze data. So here's some examples. The weights in pounds of 25 packages shipped from a mailing center are listed below. Use the data to make a stem and leaf plot. So we have our stems over here and our leaves over here. So we want to look at our data and find the smallest number, which looks like is going to be 2, and then our largest number, which is 38. Okay, so we're going to start with stems of 0, and then we're going to go up, because this is really like 0, 2. Then we're going to go up to 3. So 0, 1, 2, and 3. So let's start with the smaller numbers. We have 2 here. So here's 2. Here's another 2, so I'm going to write that again. We have another 2, so we'll put that again. We have a 3, another 3, and another 3. So that's 1, 3. There's 3 3s. I see a 4 here, so I'm going to put a 4 here. And then we have a 5 and another 5. I don't see 6, 7, 8. And then there's 2 9s here. So there's the first part of the data. Now we're looking at everything that has a 1 in the front or is in our tens. So let's start, here's 10. And you're noticing I'm circling them. You might want to cross them off as you go so you know what data you're looking at here. Then we have 11, so 1, 1. Then we have 12. I don't see 13, 14. We have 2 15s, so I'm going to write 1. We have 1 over here, 5, and 5, so it's 15. We have a 16. We have a 17. And we have an 18. And that should be it for our 1s, or 10 spot. Okay, now we're looking at for 2, or numbers in our 20s. We have 20. We have 22. We have 23. And that's it. Then we have 35 and 38. And now I notice that 41, I missed 41 before, so let's put a 4 and a 1 here because that's our largest number. And that should take care of all of our data. So if we're looking at this, we could say, well, what was the weight of most of the packages? And in this case, most of the packages were between 2 pounds and 18 pounds. And then between 20 and 40 pounds, this is a lot less. Our second example, we have Marie counting the number of problems on each of her tests. How many tests had at least 58 problems but fewer than 87 problems? So at least 58 problems, we want to know on her test how many had at least. So that means greater than or equal to 58 problems. So how many tests had 58 or more problems, but less than 87? And we're going to say less than 87. We're not going to include the 87 because it doesn't say equal to it all. But let's look here. So we have 50, we have 54, we have 55, but we want greater than 58. So we have 69 there. There is no 70s at all. But then we have 84, and then we have 85. So we have one test with 69 problems, one test with 84 problems, and one test with 85 problems. So there are 3 tests that have more than 58 problems, but less than 87. Let's label that. And as for your IXL tonight, there are 2 IXLs on there. Notice this one is algebra and this one's 8th grade. We're doing N4 and then CC5 on 8th grade up to 70 points. Okay, this hopefully is our last lesson, and you're able to stop after it. Again, if you have questions, ask. This is Veranta or I do want to let you know that on the green slip I gave you, there is a slight mistake. It forgot to include this lesson. Usually we do 013 day 1 and 2, so that was the frequency charts and the histograms one day together. So I'll try to clarify that through an email, but if you have questions, please let me know.